shut the book. Ripley.
Hi, my name's J3KB, and today I'm doing Alien Isolation on the show. I actually played the whole game all the way through, so I'm going to give you a detailed opinion on what I thought about everything in the game. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is it the Alien game that we've been waiting for since Colonial Marines? Is it a hype train? Did it derail? Are we all dying? No, we are not. Creative Assembly, you guys did it. And I have to say right now, thank you. Just thank you so much. You restored faith in this franchise in terms of a video game. Oh my God, you guys did it. Thank you so much to Sega for sending over the review copy. Let's get into the review. The story of Alien Isolation takes place 15 years after the first Aliens film. Amanda Ripley, who is Ellen Ripley's daughter, is in search of her mother. She's wondering, what the hell happened to my mother? My mother disappeared. I can't find my mother. Well, I'll tell you this much, because I don't like to give too much away in the story aspect of this, because it is survival horror, and in survival horror, usually, the story is a massive part of the game. And that over there needs to be preserved for when you play the game, because I'll say right now, you have to play this game. If you're a fan of the Alien film, you like survival horror, and you like to be terrified, play this game. Rent it, buy it, do whatever you can do to get this game. If you are a fan of the original Alien film, you like survival horror, and you like to be scared shitless with high tension moments all over the goddamn place. 15 years in the future, Black Box, Nostromo's Black Box is on another ship. Amanda Ripley goes to find it. That's all I'm going to tell you, because there's things in this game that are surprising based on the franchise to me. Just surprising that I got to see this in the game and actually go to these derelict. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I didn't say that out loud. Let's get into the gameplay aspect of this, because a lot of people thought, how is a survival horror game going to work in terms of an alien game? Because you've got one alien running around the ship, and constantly you're wondering, when is this alien going to pop out? But then you're wondering, how long is it going to last? A lot of people played the challenge mode before the game came out, such as myself, and I wondered the same thing. Well, I've got happy news to tell you. There are other enemies on this ship. I don't want to give away too much of the story, but androids and other humans play a huge part in the actual gameplay. And you're wondering, well, how does the alien really work in this? I really have to go back to the original idea for the Alien film, which was the crew is trying to survive this alien attack. And if you just put that into a game, I feel that it would be very slow-paced, and it would be too slow-paced, and it would just be run to here, avoid alien, run to here, run to here. But Creative Assembly have come up with a story that I find very fitting for the Alien franchise. Again, I guess I could say that the androids can also be programmed to be evil or good in this game. So there's a lot of android battles that take place on the ship. These are used by the humans to sway sort of the power on this giant ship. Now you also have a lot of enemy AIs running around that you're not so sure about, such as the people revolting on the ship because the ship has been overthrown by the marshals, who are so scared shitless that they're throwing people into rooms and locking them, hoping the alien will just stay in that section of the ship. And then you also have the androids, like I said earlier, who are kind of your tools in the game, but also the tools of the main villains of the game, because you're wondering, well, there's villains of the game? Well, if you look back at the Alien franchise, the humans have kind of always been the villains as well, and Ellen Ripley was just really the only legitimate person just trying to get out of the situation all the time. There was always a government or, Weyland-Yutani coming in there and trying to get the aliens to turn them into tools of destruction. In this game, you kind of get the same sense. There's marshals, colonial marshals, which I don't like saying colonial in this title because, oh my God, you guys know Colonial Marines was a fucking shit show. But in this, colonial marshals, who are essentially the police officers of the space station, are kind of overusing their powers, and they realize that there's an alien on the ship, so they throw everybody out into the, sheep, out into the ship, and you have to basically survive. That's all I'm going to say about the story. Let's get into the tools of your disposal in this game. The game has crafting, and I'd say that kind of lightly. You do search out different lockers and little boxes and find all scrap metal and glue and all sorts of little pieces that you can put together during the actual game. You don't get to pause it. You hit the O button on your PS4 controller, it brings up your spin wheel. On your spin wheel is where you'll see all of your tools. I'm not going to give them all away. I just don't like giving that much away in these reviews. I just say that overall, I feel that there's a ton of variety in terms of the weapons, the tools, all of the upgrades you get for them, and all the different types of bombs and sound makers. I gotta say this though. In saying that there's a lot of tools, I know that a lot of people don't necessarily use such tools in a game because they're used to first-person shooters, and I see a lot of you playing this game in terms of, thinking it's a first-person shooter, but you really need to step back and realize this is survival horror, so that your tools at disposal, the tools that are at your disposal, I should say, are very important to your survival. And this is where I'm going to start to talk about the alien. The alien in this game is basically just something that is intimidating, something that is just, it's menacing, it's scary. As you play through the story, you never really do have a grasp on where the alien is. This is where the motion tracker from the original Alien game comes into play. This is a very, very, very important tool in your arsenal. It's your primary tool of survival. It's the most important tool in the game, and if you didn't have the motion tracker, this game would be incredibly hard. It already is incredibly hard, but oh my god. People are saying the alien, the dynamic alien AI in this game is a little bit flawed. People are saying, well, sometimes he's here, sometimes all of a sudden he's over there, sometimes he's in the vents and you don't... Well, listen to this. If they designed the alien to be a non-dynamic alien, and he always went on the same routes, or it was a little bit varied, and you could pick up the patterns, well, guess what? It would feel like he was going through the motions. I'm going to defend them and say, dynamic AI in this game is brilliant. I'll also say this. There are moments in the game where they do mix real-time events with the dynamic AI. So there are moments where I feel that I was safe, and I didn't understand if I was safe or not. Then that's really when I came to the conclusion that this is a brilliant idea, because I think I am safe. All of a sudden I think, oh, a real-time event happened, I'm in this little room, I'm safe. But no, you're never safe, and that is the point of this game. Here's the part that's a little confusing for me, and it's why it's not a perfect game. When I'm hiding in stealth mode, you go into a locker, and you're sitting in the locker, and you're wondering, how long is it going to take for the alien to find me in this locker? And you start to realize, well, no, he's not going to find me, so okay, I'm going to bust out, okay, I'm safe. And this is where the unpredictable part comes. You don't know where he is again. You pull out your motion tracker, he's gone. Where did he go? I don't know. Bust out a locker. Here's the problem, though. You kick the fucking door open on the locker. You get into the locker quick, slam the door, and try to hide. Then you kick the fucking door open like you're Indiana Jones jumping out of a cave. It's ridiculous. I don't like the fact that they didn't put an option to slowly creak the door open, make maybe a little bit of sound, instead of just bashing the door in Resident Evil 4, the future Resident Evil games where you had the option to bash the door open. In this game, all doors are bashed open if you're hiding in them. So that's kind of a big letdown for me, because the alien is always trying to find you, and you can only hide under tables or around corners for so long, and sometimes on hard mode you need to hide in the lockers. And you think you're safe, and like I said, it's unpredictable, and this is why people have problems with the game, because when you bash that door open, sometimes the alien does hear that. So the problem, it kind of lies within the fact that you're kicking the door open. And nowhere else in the game do you have a moment where you kind of act loud on purpose like this. So that right there, it kind of loses a major point for me because of the fact that there's no slow open door option. I don't understand it, but it's in the game and I had to bring that up. People are having problems with the pacing, saying, oh, it's too long, the game is too long. Are you kidding me? I just, honestly, I think the people saying that are just not fans of Alien and not fans of survival horror, because the pacing in this game is near perfect. It has elements of, stealth, then it goes to run and gun, kind of little situations where you have to run for your life from the alien on certain moments where, again, he's unpredictable. So are you going to survive that situation? I don't know. When you're running through this ship, though, and the lighting is just straight out of the Alien film, and you hear him coming in vents and jumping around, and you've got your flamethrower in front of you, you're never ever, I really honestly have to say this, I don't think you'll ever have an experience as close to the film as this ever again. That the goddamn droids, the androids, are so frustrating at times, especially when you're running from the alien and they grab you. Because sometimes you knock them down and they grab you and they try to pull you down and the alien's there. But I mean, that's part of the gameplay. But I think my frustration really lies within the fact that there's some moments where they're good and they're helping you out, and all of a sudden they turn evil, and I couldn't figure out why they were going back and forth. And it was moments where I was like trying to get them to help me to do something, like turn on some power over here. And while they're doing that, I have to escape the alien, because the alien doesn't go after the androids. He just goes after me. So in closing here, when I'm dealing with the androids, I'm kind of curious on why they switch from good to evil so quickly, and what's the premise there? I mean, I know that they're good and they're supposed to be helping me at this moment, but why are they fucking evil all of a sudden? Lastly, I have to talk about challenge mode. Challenge mode is essentially a small little map. Aliens in your map, you have to escape that little situation. So they give you a lot of like little tools at the beginning. Use those to your disposal. Escape under a time limit, or the shortest amount of time wins. And there's an online leaderboard showing you who escaped the quickest in survival mode. You're going through this ship, and there's only so many things you can kind of encounter in terms of like doors being shut on you. And you wonder like, how many different ways can you get through doors? Well, there's computer systems in this game that have, you know, locks that have been placed on the door, passcodes. Sometimes you have to use your, you know, like little torch to cut a hole in the actual grate on the door and bust it open. Sometimes you can lock the doors, unlock them. You can rewire things. You can hack them. That's kind of cool. The hacking ability changes from sort of this little puzzle thing where you have to hold the left analog stick in a certain position to tune it in, and then with the right analog stick you pick these little, I don't know, like little square pixel codes, and you unlock the door that way. And those are very time consuming at times, sometimes taking between 8 to 10 seconds. Later in the game it gets harder, and as that's happening, again, I have to say there's no pause. So you go up to a door and you hack it, never know where the alien is, and that's where the tension is starting to build again, and you just tension. Overall, I give Alien Isolation, and I have to say this, a strong 8.5. A very strong 8.5. The reason it's not like literally a perfect game to me is the fact, again, the androids just piss me off when you don't know if they're good or bad. I understand that it changes throughout the game, and at some points it's supposed to be randomized, you know, in random areas when you're walking around, but not during a main mission when I'm sitting there waiting for the android to do something I've told it to do, and then it changes instantly for no reason, and you fail the mission because of that, because he's supposed to be doing something. And I was wondering, well, this is not right. Something is not right there, and I really do feel that something isn't right there. And second of all, the whole hiding aspect of the game is probably, you know, one of the most important parts of the game. And when you hide in a goddamn locker and kick the door open and the alien hears you, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of the whole fucking game?
We get to shut the book. Ripley.